Let's stop the self-sabotage. It's high time we stopped it, would you agree? And let's move into an on-fire, self-motivated state of being, of building our business, because that's when everything is going to go way more smoothly. So hello and welcome. I'm excited you're here. In case you haven't met before, my name is Katrin from bloomwithkatrin.com, and I'm coming live to you today from the beautiful town of Linz in Austria. So I'm back at my corporate job. I'm going to hop in a second, but I really wanted to talk to you about this first, because we can talk about modern online strategies to build a strong, active dream team. That's awesome. And to do so with savvy and confidence and soul, but really when up here we're self-sabotaging all we're learning and we're doing, and maybe even what we have created up to this point, what's the point, right? So let's get clarity. That's why I like to come on live once a week and talk about a mindset thing. And this is really, really huge, this topic here. And let me know whether you've ever, built something to some sort of success and then you found it crumble down again. I would put both my hands up. So this is definitely something that's speaking to me, to my heart. I learned this again. It was reinforced, I would rather say, at the digital marketing conference that I attended a few weeks back now. It was amazing, and this talk was one that I thought, well, I really, really have to pass this knowledge on to you. So if you have friends or in the industry or even outside who are like always, like they're building up to a certain, peak of success and then it all starts crumbling down again, please tell them about this video, put their names down below so we can all help each other out here, okay? Because we're all on the same journey, aren't we? Right? We all want to live a happy life in peace and with love, right? So this is important. And there's something that is going on in our mind that you might, and when I go into this, you might think, well, Katrin is doing her woo-woo thing again. Let me know whether you've ever felt this. Drop, tap the heart button if you've ever all Katrin and her woo-woo stuff. Because really, I want to not really prove anything here to you, but let me ask you this. Have you ever been to the movies and you watched a sad movie, an emotionally sad movie, and have you ever cried tears? I know I have, plenty of times, okay? So this is not an experience that you were really having yourself, but somebody else created the experience for you, and your mind didn't know the difference, and your body even had that physical reaction of crying and of sobbing and maybe, having a, all kinds of emotional states, right? Or maybe you've watched a horror movie. Me, Stephen King, I can't watch them. Right? I just can't, because I won't sleep for a few nights, right? So that's at least my experience, right? So our body, our system reacts to things, experiences, whether they are real or whether they are made, whether we tell ourselves, okay? So drop a heart down below if you've ever experienced that, right? I know I have plenty of times. So also, when I hear a song sometimes, right, or I watch a performance of some sort, it speaks to me. I relate with it so deeply, on such a deep level. I connect with that experience that I'll start crying, or I start laughing, or I start, having an emotion that somebody else really conjured up for me. So we can use that to our advantage, okay? So this is not woo-woo, this is real, okay? And the thing is, we also manifest all the time. Okay, we actually are the creators of our own reality. Again, quite woo-woo-y, right? Maybe. But here's the thing. We can only choose the reality. We can only choose what we tell ourselves about what's going on in our life, about our current circumstances, when we are aware of these three visions that I'm going to give to you, okay? Because these are very common. And also I'm going to give you the wording, okay? So how you can identify which vision, which mindset, whatever you want to call them really, you're caught up in, so you stop self-sabotaging, okay? So let's dive on in. Here's number one, and it's flagged. It's like a red light, okay? And it's very, very common. And some of us actually think that that's a sign of being humble. And I want to challenge that way of thinking, like it was done for me at that conference by Fernie. Okay? So here you go. Self-sabotaging is very, very common. It might look like we're being humble, but really we're sabotaging. We're risking to lose things we have achieved when this is the talk that's going on inside our brain, or we actually speak these things. Okay, so here's a few wordings to watch out for in your thoughts and in your words. Ready? Here we go. And I'm gonna give them to you because they're just amazing. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, oh, that's never gonna happen for me? Self-sabotage. Okay, I just can't afford that. There's no way I could find the funds to do that. Maybe, you know, after all, I'm not cut out to do this. Ever thought that? I know I have plenty of times. S-H-I-T, I'm not going to say the word. Like that always happens to me. Or something as good as that never lasts for me. I know, I will put both my hands up here, okay? Self-sabotaging, we're risking to lose what we have achieved in that mindset, okay? I don't know if I can do a live video. I don't know if I can build a dream team online. Ever thought those? That's to a self-sabotaging program, really. Or if you know, tell yourself, well, I'm just not cut out to do this. I'm not clever enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not wealthy enough. I'm not successful enough. Who am I for people to listen to me? Ever caught yourself thinking that? That, my friend, is when you're self-sabotaging yourself, okay? Let's stop that right now, because really it's not being humble, but it's risking to lose what you have built up to this point, okay? Let's not do that. Agree? And I'm going to tell you a little story about my vacation that I was on last week, where these things all happened to me and how I was able to manage them and shift things actually with these light, red, green, light examples. Okay, so let's move to the second mindset, if you wish, way of thinking and how you can pinpoint it. Because here's the problem with that. It's very common as well. You're going to say, well, I say that to myself all the time. That was what I told myself when Fernie first shared these with me. And I was like, oh, caught me. Right? So if you feel like I'm catching you here, be brave. Admit it to yourself. Maybe also drop it down below. I'd be curious to know, because I know this is where I was stuck in quite a bit. And this is actually a procrastination vision and expectation of yourself. It's what's gonna keep you stuck. Okay, so we need to be aware of that so we can change that. Okay, so here's the orange light, if you wish. Okay, languaged in the following ways: I want to achieve XYZ. I hope to be able to quit my job. I desire to become my own boss. Ever think that? I mean, me, quite a bit, right? Let's just wait and see. That's something that's so innate to where I live. We actually have that saying in our dialect here as well, okay? Let's wait and see. We see what happens. Or maybe one day I'll achieve XYZ. Or my goals are. Katrin, there's not procrastination. Well, actually it is. When you really feel into it, does it really get you moving, saying my goals are XYZ? And we're going to give you a solution in a second here, right? This actually creates procrastination, not doing anything in the here and now and putting it off till tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, next life, maybe even for that matter, right? And it's going to keep us stuck. So we don't want this. And we're actually affirming, by all of those that I just quoted, we're affirming that we do not have what we want. And because we do not have what we want, we might just as well pull it off till tomorrow. Okay, and that's not what we want. That's not an on-fire vision. Would you agree? And that's what we need to make a difference in our life and in this world. Okay, so let's move on over to that one, to the green light. Okay, to where we actually want to be able to make an impact. Okay, to go live, to do the things that maybe are even hard, that are scary. But when you're on fire from the inside out, there's no way of not doing that live video. Like me, for example, I was really looking forward to doing this one. So, and an on fire vision does not mean that you have to have it all together. Okay, listen to this. Okay, you do not have to have it all together to be on fire for what it is that you do. You do not have to be super successful yet, but it's really about setting the expectation that you will. And I'm even going to go a little bit further here in a second, okay? And this, by the way, my friend, is irrespective of your current circumstances. I've just shared with you, I'm still at a job. That is my current circumstance. I will have to stay here maybe for a few more months, and that's okay. But that is not who I am. And that is actually what we're affirming in the green light. So you want to listen to those wordings? I know I couldn't wait until Fernie gave them to us. So, languaged is an on fire, a green light vision when you hear yourself thinking and you hear yourself talking in this way. I am successful. It is my expectation. Okay? It motivates me from within because I know this is who I am. And this is, by the way, what all the super successful people are doing all the time, even during their low times. Okay? Doesn't really matter who you follow. They will all, when they're, transparent, tell you about their low times in life. When maybe they were out of a job. When maybe they didn't have the funds to, whatever, invest in themselves, right? Or whatever, really. But they didn't let that stop them from expecting more of themselves. And that's difference. And that's the on fire vision. So I am. I'm going to. I'm becoming. I'm gonna. It's happening. And listen to this. My results are. Not my goals, but my results are. Okay? Now, this creates self-motivation. I hope you can feel it. Tap the heart button if you can. And it affirms who you are. It affirms, your inner essence, if you wish. It doesn't talk about what's not working or, what you don't have. It is, this is who I am. This is what I'm creating. Okay? It really lights me up. Maybe you can feel that. Let me know. Okay? So, Katrin, all good and dandy. How do you put that into practice? Here's an example for you. So last week, as you may have noticed, we have been on a family vacation here in summertime. And it was really, really lovely. And we were out and about with my brother's family, actually, for the first time ever. So a huge experiment and complete transparency. It went really well. So we're all really happy about that because I was a little bit, apprehensive of, is that really going to work without all our kids and stuff? So here's what we wanted to do. We were clear on where we wanted to go. We had booked our hotel beforehand, of course, and we wanted to go hike in that one particular gorge. And then heavy rain fell and it was closed. It was closed all week long. Okay. And we're like, okay, well, today is like the day we're leaving. And that is when they opened the gorge again. And during all those days, we were like watching the situation, right? And we were like, oh, some of us are saying, yeah, well, just let's call it off, right? It doesn't really matter. I mean, what really does it make any difference? And for me, I was like, no, I want to see that gorge. That's like one of the main points why we chose this region to go on vacation in, right? So let's really make sure that we, follow up and that we know what's happening so we know when we maybe can go. And I'm not saying that because of my mindset or my amazing woo-woo powers, amazingly, the gorge opened up again on the day that we were leaving, so we could actually go in there and have a great experience doing that. Obviously, there were many, many people involved in, restoring everything so we could, but we were able to. And here's what happened. So we were like two cars, driving at separate distances, really, because we had, things going on with our kids. So my family was the first to arrive. And so you have a parking lot, you have like 10 parking lots, and they were all full. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is so crowded. Are we even going to get in, right? Remember, we were on our way home. We had a 4 hours drive after that till our homes. So But anyhow, you know, we had already arrived there, right? So we found a parking spot right really at the very beginning of the walk, right? And then you had to walk for 40 minutes to buy the tickets. And you did not know, setting out from your car, how long that queue was going to be. Actually, there was no queue to be seen, right? So, but me, after having walked for 20 minutes, I was the first one. I could see the queue, the line. It was really, really long, and it was a winding road, right? So I didn't even see how long we would have to queue up to be able to purchase those tickets. Again, good reason to just call it quits, right? You say, well, you know what? It's not that important. Let's just move on. But because I was so on fire, I really wanted to see that gorge. I set it out. Okay, I set it out until my family arrived, until my brother's family arrived, and we took turns queuing up and lining up, and we actually waited for an hour and a half. For an hour and a half on the day we wanted to go home to go into that gorge. But we did, we made it happen. And can I just say, it was such an amazing experience. And the difference for me that I could feel was not giving up. Not being that negative Nelly and the negative Nathan who were waiting in front of us and behind us, always going, wow, 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 and why is this taking us so long? Well, the reason was it was crowded, right? And they were only letting so many people into the gorge at the same time, which makes sense, right? So we had to wait for other people to leave the gorge so the next people in front of us could get in. And that was what's going on, right? And the power in that situation was not in me making the queue or the line, you know, getting smaller and smaller. That's not my power. But what I think about this and who I am in the process of queuing up. Okay, am I the negative Nelly or the negative Nathan going, right? Or, you know, and it's okay, you know, to be negative about something every now and again, right? But when I'm on fire about what it is I want to achieve, what it is I want to experience, I'm not let anything gonna stop me from achieving that and achieving it in a good way. So here's my little tip for you and how you might be able to bring that into your everyday life. Okay, so this is part of my morning routine. I wake up, open my eyes, not quite, maybe even, and I say 3 things I'm grateful for that are true already. Okay, and these are not the same every single day. They change, whatever comes to mind. And the next 3 things, I say this, and these are not reality yet. I am in the process of manifesting them. Okay, I say, I am so happy and grateful that, and then comes my goal, and I speak it as if it was true already. I'm not faking it till I make it. I'm coming from that energetic expectation of myself to be able to achieve this. I'm going to share one with you. Okay, so just one of the 3 and you can share one of yours down below if you want. I'd be curious to see. So for me, I'm so grateful and so happy that I get to help 10 amazing network marketers achieve 6 figures this year. This is awesome. Okay, and that is part of my morning ritual, and that is how I find that on fire, self-motivating set of mind and emotions that makes me want to go live, even though my boss is already waiting for me inside the office. So that's where I'm going to go, headed next. But this was my priority for today, and I made it, and I'm proud of that. And I was able to do that with an energy that's not dragging me or you hopefully down, but hopefully giving you energy as well to do your thing, whatever your current circumstances. Set your expectation accordingly to what it is you want to do, and then go for it. Okay, and take that energy, that on fire self-motivation that overcomes obstacles, that finds a solution when there's an obstacle instead of complaining about it or quitting, right? So that's not what we want. I hope you found value in this. If you did, please let me know. Let me know your main takeaways and how you're going to implement this right here and now, okay? And I'm looking forward to see you on the next training. Thanks so much for joining me. It's time for you to bloom now, my friend. All the best. Bye.